Okay, I think it's working. So I gotta use my phone to actually see if it's playing or not. I think what happened is that my audio connected to my AirPods. Yeah. Okay, can you hear me now? Great. Now the audio's working. Technology, you gotta love it. Especially when you're trying to do all the streaming stuff alone. So, anyways, welcome to Trekking with Trevor, live photo editing session from my previous trip to Galapagos Islands. My name is Trevor LeClaire, and for this session, I am going to edit probably about 5 to 10 photos within about an hour. And yeah, as with all the other live streams, there's a chance to win a free metal print of any of these images that I edit during this session. So, to get started, boom. All right, so first image, marine iguana. There are a lot of iguanas on the Galapagos Islands. So this is one of the images that we took, or that I took, and to start off, I'm going to do a linear gradient. Let's bring it up about there. I'm going to drop that exposure a little bit. And then a linear gradient. The back, select subject. And just drop that. And I think this is still streaming. Hold on, just double checking. I'm going to do... Yep, okay, cool. Yep, we're still good. So, these lizards are pretty cool looking lizards. They're great to photograph on land, but they're also really neat to see in the water. Especially swimming around, eating on some of the algae. Really fun to photograph and to film while snorkeling with them. I'm going to do a radial gradient here. And invert. Drop my exposure a little bit. And then crop. So kind of, I'm darkening and softening the edges to bring more attention toward my iguana right here. So I am going to crop this down a little bit. Probably bring it in a little tighter. Yeah, too tight. I want a little more space, especially right here around his leg. Boom. Yeah, for this past month of May, I was in Ecuador for pretty much the entire month. And while I was out there, I spent most of the time around the Galapagos Islands. So I led 2 photography workshops out there on behalf of Backcountry Journeys, the company I work for as a guide and photographer. And I had a gap in between that period where I went to Mendel Valley up in the cloud forest and spent some time photographing herps. So I did a little bit of herping. It's like a 5-hour herping session for 3 nights, starting at 7 p.m. and going on until midnight. Creasing the shadows. Really cool. A lot of fun getting into macro photography. But the highlight of the whole trip was definitely the Galapagos Islands, especially being in the water. Like, if you go to the Galapagos Islands, you have to snorkel or scuba dive. It's like a must. Because it's cool seeing all the wildlife on land, but there's just so much life beneath the surface that you're missing out if you don't get in the water. Makes me think of that song from the epic saga. Get in the water, or I'll raise the waves so high, something like that. Okay, so I darken the edges, brighten my iguana up a little bit. I'm gonna go back to select subject, add a little sharpness to him, boom. Go in on the eye. Look at that pretty eye. So I am on a new computer right now. I actually, for the first time, decided to upgrade to a Mac. I have always been a PC user, but recently I decided to get a Mac. The reason I decided to take a leap from a PC to a Mac is because, one, I cracked the screen of my PC and I was in desperate need of a computer. And two, because I do a lot of photo editing, create videos for social media and stuff like that, using a PC to transfer all of your content over to an iPhone or an iPad is quite annoying because I have to go through and like upload all these photos and videos on to my Google Drive and then download them on my iPad and do the edits there. And it's just, I'm doing all these extra steps that were unnecessary. So after some debate, I finally decided to bite the bullet and I got a Mac, the new Mac M4 Pro. And so far it's been working great for me. I've only been using it for the past 3 days. So yeah, I was a little nervous on using my Mac for this live stream, but it was either do that or nothing at all. I'm gonna brighten this eye a little bit. Boom. But I have to say, so far, from what I've done with this Mac, I have really been enjoying it. It's been great. I'm glad I bought this. In addition, it's like half the weight of my original computer, which is like just a giant brick carrying everywhere. When you travel all over the place and running around in the airports, it gets heavy after a while. So this Mac, being so much lighter and so much easier to travel with, more compactable, just helps a lot. So I'll be going on my next adventure here in a couple days. I am heading up to Alaska to lead a photography workshop up there. So that'll be my first adventure I'll be going on with this Mac. So hopefully it goes well. All right. I darken the pupil of the iguana here, lighten the eye some, add some clarity to it. Zoom out. Yep, eyes looking better. Zoom out some more. Before, after. All right, I'm going to do another radio gradient right across here. Boom, stick that in the middle, and then I'm just going to brighten the middle part a little bit more. Add some contrast to this image overall, just a little bit. Drop my highlights. Boom. I'm going to saturate this some. Color mixer. Going to go to my blues. So if you look where my blues are, boom. You can see that there's blue in my iguana. What about aqua? Boom. Nope. Okay. So I do got some blues in my iguana. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saturate these blues a little bit. So instead of my iguana being blue, it will saturate those colors to make it more black, which is what I want. I'm going to go back to subject, drop the highlights, maybe drop the exposure a little bit. Yep, and bring the shadows up. Boom. All right. Boop. Oops, come back. Before, after. Before, after. Yeah. I think that's... Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. The hard thing about photography editing is like, there's so many times where you edit photos and you're like, is this really how I want it to look? Sometimes I will start all the way over on an edit and take a different approach. And then at times I'll come back like months or weeks later and change the edits if I'm not satisfied with it. But for now, marine iguana, that's what I will stick with. I do want to do this one right here. Let's go here, this marine iguana. Boom. So I love how he's perched right here on the stump. Got a nice sky. This one I believe I could definitely have a little more fun with working on. So the first thing I am going to do is histogram looks good. Let's add a little contrast. Let's drop the highlights. Yeah, add some of the sky, the clouds in the sky pop more. Let's bring up those shadows. Boom, make my iguana pop more, looking beautiful. And this one I am going to actually go ahead and do clarity. So increase some clarity here, add clarity basically throughout the whole image. Now, first things first, sky. Boom. It kind of missed a little bit down here. Well, that's the mountain. Yeah, that's fine. All right. I'm going to add some dehaze to the sky, and that's really going to bring out some of those colors and make it pop. Not too much, because that really changes the color of the image, and that just looks icky and fake. So, you know, just a little bit. Just a tad. There we go. And then my highlights drop down to add more detail to the clouds. I'll add more contrast. Let's see, what if I drop the exposure a little bit? No. Okay, drop highlights down. I'm going to go back. I'm going to drop the dehaze down a little bit. The main reason is because up here on the top, it was starting to look weird. So I don't want it to look too odd. And maybe add a little blue to it. Just cool it down a little bit. Just a tad. It does have that nice kind of cool baby blue feel to it. Alright. And then let's do a linear gradient on this area right here. I'm going to darken that. Boom. And then I'm also going to soften that too. There we go. Take away some of the detail and clarity there. More focused around here. And speaking of more focus around here, that's where my radial gradient's going to come in. Big and long right there. I'm going to put this over my iguana, invert it, darken those edges a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. No. Change my mind. No radial gradient. Let's do select subject. Oh, there's a little spot right here. And there's some areas I gotta clean up, so I'm gonna hit the brush auto mask. And it's cleaning this mess up right here. Boom. This piece right here. Boom. Around there. Up. Oh, there's this little spot right there I gotta clean up. Be gone, you. I cast you away. Alright. Boom. Okay, wait. What's this? Does this need? Yep, there we go. Cool. Now, I'm gonna brighten that a little bit. Add a little warmth to it to help it pop some. And let's bring my shadows. Nah, I think that's good on the shadows. But I will add some texture to this. Alright, let's zoom in. Iguana tail up the back And boom, here on the face of the sleeping iguana. I really wish his eye was open, but oh well. You win some, you lose some. Brush. Right there around where the eye's supposed to be on the sleeping iguana. Wait, I need to add brush. There we go. Brush. There we go. Delete mask. Okay. Boom. A little bright there. A little clarity there. Really wish his eye was open, but whatever. Alright, I'm brushing this in right here because I do want to brighten that up some. Let's see, auto mask, good. Auto mask is great because it does a pretty good job on like staying within the lines that you mask. Versus like if I didn't hit the auto mask, there's a chance that when I try to hit these spikes on its head, it would also highlight the sky as well. There. Just want to add a little more brightness to the face there. It's like you have a helmet on, like a superhero. Iguana Man, here to save your day. Superpower. Spitting water out of the nose, kind of like a Pokemon. Water gun. Marine iguana, water gun, go. And before, after. Before, after. Okay, I think I'm going to add another linear gradient. Coming down. About like this. And just to make sure it's not overlapping with my subject, I'm going to subtract subject from this. And then let's drop it a little bit. Or maybe I should brighten it. Yeah, I'm going to brighten it. That looks better. Now it flows more evenly. And then my saturation, let's drop it down just a little bit. Boom. Before, after. Before, after. I think I dropped my saturation too much. Okay, just gonna drop it down a tad. Before, after. Maybe I'll crop it down some. Let's see, what if I did a 16 by 9? Drop it down. Boom, less sky. Okay, maybe a tad more sky. Let's do a 16 by 10. Boom. Before, after. Before, after. Before, after. Boom, boom, boom. Another one bites dust. Okay. I think I'm good on that one. Cool. Let's see. What should we do next? So there are a few of these that I have already edited in the past. Like this selection right here. That one I have edited. But let's do a penguin. A colorful penguin. A sunset penguin. Let's do this one right here. I like that one. D. D for development. Cool. All right, let's drop. What if I did an 8 by 10? Maybe I won't crop this one. See, how does that look? Maybe I will. Bring it in. Bring it here. Let's drop this down more. I think cropping it actually is a better option. Let's go out a little bit more. I want more space. I think I want a little more space. Okay, what if I do original? Crop it down. Boom. And move it down a little bit more. Okay. I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, so add some contrast. Boom. We'll see what happens if we add some dehaze. Yeah, dehaze good. Add clarity. Boom. Sharpen it a little bit more. Highlights. Drop it down just a little bit. Shadows. No. Want the penguins to be silhouettes. Galapagos penguins. The penguins are really cool to see and a lot of fun to swim with too. They are really fast. And sometimes they get pretty close to you, like they don't even care that you're there. Like pretty much a lot of the animals on the Galapagos Islands. There are many times while in the water we got to watch them hunt for fish, which was a lot of fun. But on this particular route, we were on Zodiacs, and it was kind of choppy as we are drifting around trying to photograph the penguins at sunset. So I actually did this scene once. This one right here, I captured during the first departure, the first tour. And this was really choppy and hard to get. The waves were pretty rough. Like, we actually got splashed on as the sun was going down. But it was really cool. I loved how the penguins were all lined up and looking at the sun. I call this sun gazers. And then when we went back for the second tour, I had a chance to do it again. And this is what I end up getting on the second tour. Personally, I like the first one better, but I still like how I got the two stacked here and it comes down to the sun. So it's almost like you got this diagonal line, you know, coming down toward the sun. It'd been cooler if they were actually looking toward the sun, but I do like how they're kind of looking up and makes them look kind of majestic looking. Linear gradient. Boom. I'm gonna put a linear gradient here. Let's try to subtract my subject. Yes, it worked. And the reason is I do want to brighten that up a little bit more. Oops, run away. There we go. So that way this penguin pops some more. Because when it was dark, it's like its head and bill starts to get lost in the clouds. So I want to brighten it up so that way this silhouette pops even more. Maybe, what if I add some haze to it? No. Cool. Saturation, drop. Nope. Well, yeah, let's add some vibrancy to it. Just a little warmer. Giving that nice, beautiful glow. These up here, though, I don't know about that color. What if, let's see, saturation. What if I drop you? Drop you like a hot potato. Maybe right here too. Bring that back up some. You know, funny thing is, I almost like the original better. Okay, let's try this again. Crop that down, bring it over, go up some, boom, actually a little bit more, boom, a little bit of clarity, add some contrast. Not too much. I'm going to increase the highlights this time and then drop the shadows. And then saturation. What if I bring it up, or vibrancy, bring it up a tad. All right, this time I'm going to try something different. Linear gradient. Come down here, subtract my subject. This time I'm going to darken that a little bit more. There we go. Let's add some blacks. Drop the blacks down. Boom. Whites. Drop my whites down a little bit. Before, after, before, after. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Cool. Shoot. Next, let's go for a swam with the green sea turtle. Yeah. This guy was photographed at Devil's Crown. We kind of swam around each other for quite a while. It was almost like this fellow was kind of curious in me. Very beautiful color too. I didn't use any flash or strobes on this guy, but very beautiful color with that deep dark background, which is one of the things I really loved about this shot. And I am going to crop it down tighter. About, let's do here. Maybe a little bit more. Give them space to swim into. And then also I like to have space down below them to add a bit of a like depth to it. So that way you can see how deep the water is around them. Add some contrast, which is darkens up a little bit. Let's see, what if I... Yeah, I'm going to brighten it up a little tad. Just a tad. And then let's hit my subject. Boom, that's perfect. I want you to shine. Shine like the star in the middle of the night. Contrast to you? Nah. These are highlights. I'm bringing the highlights down, and then I'm going to drop the shadows up. Going to add some clarity to you, sharpen you up a little bit more. Boom. And boom. Look at the beautiful turtle. Look at all the pattern on the shell, the scales. I mean, cropping it in tight just on the artistic pattern of the shell itself is pretty cool. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Sea turtles are so fun to swim with. They're like just so chill. Sometimes they don't even care that you're there and they'll like bump right through you. There were a few times where I'll be photographing or filming 1, 2 sea turtles, and then next thing you know, I turn around, there's another one coming at me. I'm like, oh snap, I got to get out of your way. A lot of fun. Okay. Maybe brighten him up a little bit more. The great thing about this image right here that I really like is that the sea turtle has those warm colors on him, while the background is blue and the cool colors. And the great thing about that is when it comes to photography, the warm colors are the ones that pop out. Warm and bright colors, boom, they pop out right at the viewer. So the fact that this turtle is warm compared to the water just makes them pop even more. So like this entire composition setup of this image right here was really nice. And this is probably one of my favorite turtle shots. Definitely one of the cleanest I've gotten to. So I'm going to brighten that eye a little bit more. Add some clarity to it. And then we're going to go in even closer. So it is a little noisy there, and I will have to do some denoising of it to clean it up. But that is something I usually do outside of these sessions, so that way folks are not waiting for the denoise process to occur. But in case you're curious, it's down here in detail, and then I just hit the denoise, and you know, maybe I will actually do it to kind of show you what it looks like on here. But first, I got some cleaning up to do on his eye. Boom. Hit the pupil right here. Drop it down. Whoop, too much. All right, get this. Boom, right here. I'm basically hitting the dark areas. Right here. Coming up here. So a little bit right here. Let's get this. Boom. And I want to drop the exposure there. Just darken those. There. And that helps the eye pop a little more. So if we zoom out, let's see how that looks. Yeah. Definitely better. Maybe it's too bright though. Drop the exposure just a little bit. Cool. All right, so now I'll go ahead and do the denoise. So denoise, tick tock, waiting. Great, right over the eye. That's where I want it. So I'm basically looking at the eye. And what I do is choosing the amount where it has a nice, clean, smooth pupil. Not too much, because then it starts to look plasticky and AI generated. So sometimes a little noise is good to make sure that it looks more realistic. I just want a clean pupil. I think that's fine. Let's enhance, see how this looks. It's a great day to be alive, oh, when the sun goes down and I close my eyes. Chat. Still waiting. Oh, boom. Okay, so smooth it out a little bit. I mean, it's not perfect, but better than what it was. Zoom out. So that's basically like the before, after, before, after. Let's do I'm gonna do a linear, subtract subject, and darken that background some. Oh yeah, let's do more. More, I tell you. More. Just down here. Oh no, what did I do? Go back. There. Okay, back to the masking. There we go. Okay, just drop it down. Boom. Drop this exposure down some. 4. So that was the before. Oops. After. Before, after. Let's go back to my turtle. Let's drop its exposure down a little bit. Clarity, everything else is good. Boom. So, before, after, boop. Turtle. All right. 3-star. I haven't been starring my images. I'm just adding 3 stars to the ones that I have edited so far. So it makes it easier to find. I touched. And where is the other one? What else did I do? Did I do iguana? I did do the iguana. There you are. Boom. And you I touched. Oh. So, kind of give you an idea of what it's like to snorkel with the penguins. Kind of like this. You know, they swim around, they come to the surface, you pop up, you get some photos, they wave at you, and then bloop, they go back under. A lot of fun. Here's one swimming near the surface. There's actually two of them swimming around that we were photographing and filming. And they'll come up to the surface for a little bit, and then phew, they dive down, chase fish, swim around. It was a lot of fun. Enjoy these guys. All right. Oh, this one here. Not adding this one, but can you see what's here? It's like a game of hide and go seek. It's hard to spot, but if I zoom in real close, you see it yet? Boom, right here. Seahorse. Boom. Yeah, try finding one of those. Luckily, our local naturalist was able to spot one, but man, very well camouflaged. I wish I had a better shot of this guy. He also looks very angry. Like, look at those eyes, and he has his head down. It's like he's out to get revenge or something. Don't want to mess with him. Jeez, he's had a bad day. Okay, back to photo editing. So yeah, as you can tell, not every photo that I take is I would consider a good photo. Let's do... Oh, hold on. 1 star. There we go. I was going through all my photos that I've taken. These here are the ones that I picked that I decided to edit. And let's do a flamingo. Let's see which one. This one. This one. That one. I like the colors and the darkness of that one. Let's do it. All right, first of all, I gotta fix this. Apparently, my equilibrium wasn't really correct when I was shooting this one because I was all over the place crooked. There we go. Maybe I'll crop it in. Use just this one leg to frame. Boom. I kind of almost wish I had the rest of this reflection, but it was kind of a... I chose to go in tight because I wanted to focus on the water droplets here in the head rather than the whole reflection. So, I don't know how I feel about that. I do like this part right here. Maybe I actually will just go in tighter and focus on that. That was the original intent. 8x10. Boom. Yeah. There's good detail right there. Yeah. Tighter it is. Well, that looks kind of... Does that look weird? It looks weird. Maybe I need a... I think I like that better. Maybe move it in this way. I kind of wish that leg wasn't there now. What about the other one? The foot's there. I do like that stream of water, though. All right. We'll go for this one. Contrast. Exposure. Nope. Just kidding on the exposure. Linear gradient, dropping down. Baby, how you down, 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 down. Subtract my subject, subtract my subject. Wait a minute. Okay. See, I thought for a moment right here that part of the flamingo was highlighted because, you know, there's red here and red there. So it was kind of confusing, but nope, we're good. I'm going to darken that. Oh, boom. Really make that flamingo pop. And then I'm going to actually add linear gradient again. And I'm going to go up. Boom. There we go. Darken both sides. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in winning a free metal print of any of these images that I have edited, or even that I've already edited on this session. So basically, as of right now, pretty much any of these 3 stars, like I said, that I have edited on this session or edited previously. If you are interested in any of them and want to win a free metal print, then follow me either on Instagram or Facebook at Trekking with Trevor and send me a private message saying Galapagos. And then I'll put your name in a drawing and you could win a free metal print. And the drawing will end on June 13th. So you have until June 13th to watch this live view and to send me a direct message. Boom. Galapagos. Back to my flamingos. Doo-boop. Okay. Now, I'm going to try cropping again. What if I did this? And then bring it just right there. Nah. Okay. Select subject. Subtract brush. I'm going to erase this down here. These guys, when we went to go photograph these, there was like a fence that separated us from the pool in which they were at, and they actually got pretty close during the second departure, like right next to the fence, the point where you could have had a wide-angled lens, which is really neat. I'm going to bring that up. Drop your highlights down. Add some clarity. Boop. Maybe add some saturation to you. Yeah, add a little more pink. Before, after, before, after. Let's do a radial gradient. Over the eye, invert, drop the exposure. There we go. I like that a little bit better. Before, after, before, after, before, after. Yeah, I liking how this turning out. Really, really nice. But what else do I have in terms of flamingo? No, I cut you off. This could be cool right there, though. What if I like did something like this? I wish I didn't cut the top of the neck off right there, though. See, I'm looking for alternatives compared to the other one that I'm doing, because the leg kind of takes away from it a little bit. Yeah, see, then I cut it off there. I'll have to go in tight. No, no. What about this one? See, now there's this mud pit right there that being really picky. See, I love this water right here. That's how clear that is. That's really neat. If I go in tighter. How's the eye look? Well, not bad. Maybe I will play with this one. Add more over here. Because I like this. Let's go back to this one. Oops. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. All right. Before I do move on to the other flamingo, play with the eye right here. Boom. Brush. All right, zoom out. Add some exposure to it. Ooh, yeah. Then what if I drop the black? Boop, just a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. The eye pops a lot more. Cool. Now let's go back to the other flamingo, the close-up one. So my main focus was basically this right here. I do need to level it some. Boom. There we go. What if I actually do vertical? Yeah, vertical 8x10. There we go. That adds more effect to it. Oh yeah. Maybe actually bring it in more this way, because then you got like this snake slithering from the corner all the way down. Maybe a little bit more this way. Maybe a little bit wider. Yeah, this is kind of how my process goes. Just a bunch of trial and error, trying to get it right and figure out how I want it to be. Quite picky. Okay, I think I'm going to go with this. I do like this arch we got going here, and I like how this comes out of the corner right there. So let's play with this one. A nice up-close type shot. So do some of the same edits that I did on the previous one. Where'd you go? There you are. I'll bring you down to here. Subtract subject. Drop the exposure. And then linear again. Oh, whoops. All the way up to here. Subtract subject. Oh, that's beautiful. And just drop that exposure. Oh, just not as much. But look how cool that is. There we go. Now I'm going to select subject. Wait, hold on. Add some contrast. Boom. Oh, look at the colors on that. Yeah. Exposure. Nope, don't want to mess with the exposure anymore. Highlights. Drop the highlight. And then the whites. Sweet. Now I'm going to go and select subject. Perfect. Brighten you up, maybe? Brighten you up, but I'm going to drop your highlights. Shadows. Yeah, I'm going to drop your shadows. I like this dramatic. Yeah. Okay. Add a little bit of clarity, a little bit of texture. What if I add more contrast to you? I'm trying to make the colors pop a little bit more. A little saturation. There we go. And let's select background. All right, I'm gonna add a little blue, cool it down a little bit, just a little bit, and then I'm also gonna, let me see if I desaturate it a little bit. No. I think just adding a blue is the best option. Yeah. Adding a little bit of blues in the background to kind of cool it down to make the flamingo pop a little bit more. I think my... What if I... Go back to my subject. I took the saturation back down. I think I saturated it a little too much and wasn't too fond of that. So I'm going in the opposite direction now. It does look more natural that way, taking the saturation down. Let's see. Before, after. Before, after. Yeah, I'm liking it. Now the eye. Look at all the wrinkles there. It's so cool. Love the detail on this thing. American flamingo. Pupil. Pupil's already looking good. Invert. Drop this down. Bring it all the way around. Boom. And then with brighten that. Oh, there we go. What if I add some blue, cool it overall? I want to darken that background a little bit more, but with a second linear gradient. Not as far down. Subtract subject. There we go. Nice. Nice close-up shot. Like it. That's better. I kind of like that better than the other flamingo shot. And this one could have been great, but one thing I don't... I wish, like I said, the leg wasn't there. I like the whole S curve and the water driplet right there, but I do like this close-up shot of this guy right here. That's pretty neat. 3, 3, 3, and I forgot to label U 3. Iguana. Okay, what's... Maybe do species I haven't done yet. There's oyster catcher, starfish. I could do the snake. The Galapagos racer. Let's do this one. Ooh, that one would be a good one though too. Let's change my mind. We're gonna go with the blue-footed booby. There we go. First of all, no. Add some dehaze. Boom. And then I need to level this. So I'm going to hit the angle here. Top my water. Go across. Boom. My angle wasn't correct. Boom. That's better. Let's crop this in. Like something like, how would this look? Yeah, I like that. Maybe even a little bit more. Like the top of these clouds. And then bring it over to maybe right here. Yeah, and then we got this beam of light coming in this way. Go back over. Cool. All right, highlights. Let's see if we drop the highlights. No, I'm not going to touch my highlights, but I will drop my blacks. And then I'm going to do a radio. Boom. Cross. Down. Let's make you wider. There. And then I'm going to brighten that up a little bit more. Add a little warmth to that. There we go. And then linear gradient coming up. And then again, let's add another one this way. And the reason I'm doing this is I got this warmth light coming in, shining down on the booby. And so I'm going to cool everything around it, the shadows a little bit. So add a little blue there. And then I'm going to do another linear gradient right down here. And I'm going to drop that exposure a little bit. I'm going to actually bring that crop down more. Change this to 16 by 10. There we go. A little bit cleaner up here now. Cool. Looking on, zooming on. Oh no, I got a spot there. Time for the spot removal. Be gone. All done. Okay, now I actually need to look. Is there any other spots that I do not? Oh, wait. Yep, there's another one. Be gone. Okay. All right. There's the booby, blue-footed booby. I'm gonna try something. Let's select sky. Select sky. Boom. No, I don't want the bird. Hit brush, subtract, clean up all this here. Let's hit the auto mask. There we go. Yep. Zooming in. Oh, I got some water there too. Clean that up. Get rid of that there. All the way over here. Okay, we'll zoom in on the bird. Still some. Get you clean. Boom. Get that here covered up. Erase those red spots there. There's looks like there's some there. Drop my brush down. Get some red areas here that I don't want to be edited. Coming up. Coming around the bird. A little bit here. And there's a lot up here on his head. Just get rid of that. Erase that away. So my sky masking tool wasn't perfect, but oh well. Okay, that's better. Now let's DAs. No, didn't work out as I hoped. What if I add contrast to it? I'm trying to make the beams more pronounced. Shadows. It's not exactly doing this justice. If I just drop the exposure. one more linear gradient. And then I think I'll call this one good. Just coming up here, drop the exposure there a little bit. Make sure you make it a lot longer. Coming up. There we go. Drop the exposure down there some. And then I'm going to soften that up down there. Boom. And the booby is done. Hey, how's it going? Okay, so... Oops. As of right now, these are the photos that I have edited. So, marine iguana, parrotfish. I like the colors of this parrotfish, but there's so much just going on around it. It's not exactly the cleanest shot or the cleanest background. Some cacti. Another marine iguana sleeping. This is a close-up shot of a brown pelican shot with a 100mm macro lens. And that's the pelican shot with the same lens. Blue-footed booby, the blue feet, the cacti, Galapagos penguins staring at the sun. Two more Galapagos penguins at sunset. American flamingo, another American flamingo, landscape shots of American flamingos. This one I shot at like a really low aperture, an f4 by mistake. I should have shot in this one higher. But this was kind of a quick shot because we had another group coming in and I had to hurry up and we had to hurry up and leave. And I'm like, no, I just want to get this wide angle landscape shot before we leave. And so I was just like, as people were walking away, I was like, snap, 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 and then took off. I didn't really have time to think about settings and change stuff. Green sea turtle. And that is it. Maybe I'll do one more just for the heck of it. Oh. But the question is, what shall I do? Oh no, I got a lot of photos here still. How many do I have? For work, I gotta submit 20 for 3 departures, or 2 departures. So 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 5 more. Okay, well, I got 5 more I could choose from. Let's do the penguin. I like this one. He looks like he's about to bow, like he just did a performance. Ta-da! This wrasse is pretty cool. That was deep water that we swam in there. Harlequin wrasse. Okay. Let's do the penguin. Be the last photo that I edit on this live stream. And as a reminder, if you want to win a free print of any of these images that have been edited during this session or before this session, so basically any of these that I have labeled as 3 stars, as a reminder, go to my social media, Instagram or Facebook, Trekking with Trevor, and send me a direct message saying Galapagos. Oh, there's another photo too that has been edited I forgot to include. Where are you at? Come on, I know you're in here. Unpick. Yeah, so now these are all my Galapagos images that I haven't picked. There we are. You pick. Yeah, so this is a Eagle Ray high key edit that I did prior to this live stream that I'll also include. But basically, this is what it looked like before, and that's what it looks like afterwards. So, high key, black and white edit. Okay, back to the penguin to finish it off. Here, birdie, 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 birdie. Where are you? Boom. There you are. Zooming in. Oh, you're so cute. Galapagos penguins are like so adorable. All right. First of all, contrast. Boom. Highlights. I'm going to leave my highlights there. Clarity. Not going to touch yet. Maybe I'll add a little tint of blue to it. Just kind of a little coolness to it. All right. Let's do select sky. Because the stars in the sky. Add a little clarity maybe to that. Where's the dehaze? Or actually, maybe I'll haze it. Maybe just a tad bit right now. It's like pouring raining outside at the moment. All right, I'm going to drop the temperature. Just a little coolness to it. There we go. All right, linear. Just this right here. And if you can't tell, there's an iguana right here. This is his back and there's his tail right there. Okay, drop the exposure there. Great. Add radio. Invert. Adding a little bit of a vignette effect to it. Boop. Now I'm going to select my subject. Boom. Perfect. Brighten you up. And maybe a little warm to you. No. Zoom in. There we go. You're so cute. Oh, look, there's a penguin head back there. Got a little clarity. Boom. Maybe a little. So this guy was actually in the process of shaking when I photographed this, but it looks like he just had a performance and is about to bow. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I'll be here all night. Please come back. Free sardines at the penguin booth. With every purchase of a, I don't know, what would penguins sell? Top hat? Sure, let's go with top hat. Before, after. Yeah, I like the coolness to it. What if I drop my highlights some? And then increase my shadows. Okay, I'm gonna crop this. Boop. Bring it up and over. Too much. Crop it with an 8x10. That's better. Boop. Let's bring it down. Okay, and brush. This, sorry guy, the iguana, but he's, I'm gonna darken you a little bit right here. Kind of hide you some, so you're not such a big focus to it. There we go. And drop the whites, that's better. This tail is kind of distracting me. All right, boom. Okay, so that concludes my edits. Time for a recap of everything that I have edited from my Galapagos trip. Boom, space. Okay, marine iguana, napping in vegetation. Parrotfish, smiling. Cacti, cacti. Marine iguana, sleeping on the log. Close-up of the brown pelican feathers. And here's our brown pelican. Blue-footed booby. Cacti. Galapagos penguins, the sun gazers. Galapagos penguins again. Silhouette shots at sunset. American flamingo. Filter feeding. American flamingo. Who looks shocked that I captured his image as he was filter feeding. Flamingos and landscape shot. Oh yeah, I guess I did 2 of those. Green sea turtle swimming. I will name you Fred. Eagle ray also swimming. I will name you Sally. And that is it. All right. Well, that's all the photos for this session. Yeah. Cool. So, thank you all for watching and tuning in, and I will see you all next time here on Trekking with Trevor. My next expedition coming up is I am heading to Alaska to lead a few tours up there, and then after that, I am going down to Botswana, Africa for a photography workshop. So, more live streams, more photo editing sessions coming this way. Cool. Now I gotta stop streaming.